Mayday, 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 catastrophic power loss. The final words from Air India Flight 171. On June 12, 2025, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, a plane known for its near-perfect safety, fell from the sky just after takeoff, killing 241 people on board, with only one survivor. It was the first fatal crash in the Dreamliner's history, and it triggered a global investigation. But this might not be a random tragedy. It could be the result of a decade of manufacturing flaws, ignored warnings, and a design problem that could affect every 787 still flying. The real question isn't just what happened to this flight, but whether it exposes a fatal flaw in the plane you could be on tomorrow. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner was sold as the future of aviation. Its revolutionary design used advanced composite materials for its body and wings instead of aluminum, making it lighter and far more fuel efficient. For passengers, this meant a better experience, higher cabin humidity to reduce jet lag, larger windows, and a quieter ride. To speed up production, Boeing outsourced manufacturing to over 50 suppliers worldwide. On paper, the Dreamliner was a perfect reimagining of air travel, but behind the sleek facade, a pattern of serious flaws was beginning to emerge. The first cracks appeared in early 2013. After two incidents involving overheating lithium-ion batteries, one causing a fire on the ground, the FAA took the unprecedented step of grounding the entire global 787 fleet. While Boeing developed a fix, it was a major blow to the Dreamliner's reputation. But that was just the beginning. A far more sinister problem emerged: quality control. In 2020, tiny, almost invisible gaps were discovered where sections of the 787's fuselage were joined. These gaps violated Boeing's own safety standards, and the issue was so widespread it halted all Dreamliner deliveries for nearly 2 years. Whistleblowers from inside the factory began speaking out. In April 2024, Boeing engineer Sam Salahpour alleged that assembly crews were taking dangerous shortcuts to make parts fit, including jumping on sections of the plane, which he claimed could lead to catastrophic failure over time. When he raised alarms, he was told to shut up. Another whistleblower, the late quality manager John Barnett, had previously warned that workers under pressure were using substandard parts and leaving metal shavings near critical flight control wiring. Barnett, who was suing Boeing, was found dead in March 2024. The problems extended to the supply chain. In early 2025, an Italian supplier was caught in a massive fraud, having sold thousands of defective titanium parts made from cheaper, weaker metal. These parts were installed on hundreds of Dreamliners, a deception that went unnoticed for years. Then, in March 2024, LATAM Airlines Flight 800 suddenly plunged mid-flight, injuring 50 people. The cause was traced to an accidental switch activation in the cockpit, and while not a manufacturing defect, it further eroded public trust in the aircraft. This brings us back to Air India Flight 171. Given this history, the crew's last words, "no thrust, not taking lift," are even more chilling. Black boxes have been recovered, and while the investigation is ongoing, early reports point to a sudden, total loss of power from both engines. The deployed emergency power turbine found at the crash site confirms the main power was gone. Investigators have already stated that pilot error is an unlikely cause. This is where the pattern of failure becomes impossible to ignore. Could a hidden electrical fault, like the kind whistleblower John Barnett warned about with stray metal shavings, have caused a complete power shutdown? Or did a counterfeit titanium part fail under the stress of takeoff? The crash of Flight 171 may not be an isolated event, but the brutal culmination of a decade of ignored warnings and systemic problems built into the aircraft itself. The official investigation will take months, if not years. We will be following every development. To stay updated on this and other critical aviation stories, subscribe for more deep dives. Boeing has pledged full support for the investigation, but the tragedy of Flight 171 casts a dark shadow over the Dreamliner. It forces uncomfortable questions. For years, production was halted, whistleblowers raised alarms, and delivery targets often seemed to take priority. The problems were known and documented. The Air India crash transformed these issues from corporate problems into a human catastrophe. A cause for the crash will be found, but the real question is whether Boeing's culture, often criticized for putting production speed over quality, has truly changed. Have the lessons from the battery fires, the fuselage gaps, and the warnings of whistleblowers been learned? Until that question is answered, passengers boarding a Dreamliner are left to wonder, is the dream of the 787 really safe?